I'm going to be brutally honest with you. If you're not using Data Dive to verify your Amazon FBA products, you might as well just go to the casino and pull all of your money on black and cross your fingers and hope that you just win. Because if you don't have the data that Data Dive has, that's literally what you're doing. The days are over of using these extensions and looking at the average reviews, looking at the revenue, looking at the search volume, and just basically looking at those three things and saying, oh, this is a perfect product. I hate to break it to you, there's a lot more. And that's where Data Dive comes into play. And over the last couple years, this is what I've been doing. And especially moving forward, this is the only way I'm doing it. And this is how we're teaching our students inside of our community groups. So let's give you guys a breakdown. And we have three products. We have a fire hydrant for dogs. We've got a nursery bookshelves, and we've got stuffed animal storage organizers. And we're going to give you a deep dive and analyze these potential products and whether or not they have potential or not. So for those that are new to the channel, my name is Trevin Peterson. I've been selling on Amazon for the last 8 years. I've done over $15 million, and I'm excited to give you guys all the meat and potatoes on how to actually verify products, because if you can learn this one part, Amazon FBA gets significantly easier. So make sure to like the video, subscribe, drop a comment, and let's jump in my screen and analyze these products. So how we're going to be doing it is using Data Dive. I have a link in the description where you guys can get an exclusive trial plus a discount. That link will be down below. And once you have that downloaded, you're signed into it, you're going to search for the product that you're interested in selling. So right here, a fire hydrant for dogs. From there, you're going to click on the extension and go to the dive box. And this is their Chrome extension that's going to look very similar to like Jungle Scout or Helium 10, where it's going to show you the revenue. It's going to show you the average reviews. It's going to show you the search volume, as you can see right here. So the median reviews, well, 36. That's like a gold mine. This is awesome. The average reviews is super, super low. And yes, that is a metric that I do look at, but that's not the only thing. And most of the people on the internet are saying, hey, just find a product with super low competition and high demand, and boom, you're going to make $1 million. I hate to break it to you, there's a little bit more to it. And this is going to kind of prove my point. So the average reviews is 36, total revenue is 133,000, good search volume. Okay, the average person is going to be like, oh, this is a great product, I'm going to go launch it. Well, there's a little bit more to it, and that's what I'm going to break down in this video. So what you're going to do is, yes, you're going to look at that, and if this median reviews was like 1,000 and the revenue was like 10 million, I probably wouldn't even consider. I probably wouldn't even take it a step further. So yes, it still is important to look at the average reviews. And the reason being is that's going to kind of give you a gauge on the competition of whether or not it's just way too competitive or not. And then the total revenue or the search volume is going to give you a good indicator on whether it has demand. So yes, I'm first looking at that before I go any further. So it is important to know that, but again, that's just one layer of the onion that you need to peel back. So from there, you're going to come over here and find all of the similar products that you are looking to sell. So right here, these are all of the fire hydrants for dogs, which I don't even know who's buying it, but obviously these sellers are doing $30,000, $10,000, $5,000 selling this product. So it's kind of crazy. And you're going to toggle this on, and you're going to see that there's 13 ASINs selected, and you're going to click dive. What this is going to do is it's going to analyze all of the data that's attached to these listings and give you a complete breakdown on the actual reality of this product and whether it has potential or not. And again, if you're not using this strategy, if you're not using this tool set, it's literally like you're going to the casino and putting all of your chips on black. And for me, I like to have a little bit better odds than 50-50. So right here, you can see it. It gives you a lot of information. And at first, you're probably like, oh man, this is really complicated. But what's really cool is once you dive into it, it's very, very simple. So the first thing that you're going to see is there's a lot of red. Well, red is an indicator of, yeah, let's stop. Let's not launch this. All of these competitors say very strong, very strong, very strong. This one is strong. Like there are straight competitors of just very strong. So that is a red flag. Now, when we looked at the extension, if we come back to the dive box, when we looked at the average reviews and the competition, it didn't show us that. And that's where Data Dive is going to open your eyes up to the reality of what's happening. So again, 36 median reviews or average reviews, 133,000 in revenue. Like, yeah, that's high demand, low competition. But this is telling us that the market is going to be a little bit more competitive than you think. Even though the average reviews is low, there's some tough competition here. And basically the way that it gauges the competition is it comes over here to the search terms, and it's going to show you where these sellers are ranking on the first page for these particular searches. So fire hydrant for dogs to pee on, these sellers are just literally dominating. I mean, this seller's 1, this one's 2, this one's 6, 13, 9, 3, 5. Like all of these are like at the top. And that's the most relevant, best keyword, highest searched keyword. And for us to go launch a product, it's going to be a little bit harder to take over that top spot because all of these sellers are literally capitalizing on this one keyword. Now, there are other keywords to look at, but if you look at these other keywords, it's the same thing across the board. It's a bunch of red. And the more red that you see, the more scary of an opportunity it is. And so what we're looking for is we want to find green. But if we look at the green over here, it's for keywords that literally have no search, that literally have no relevancy. And so it's like, I don't want to waste my time on that. And so again, just looking at the quick snapshot, it's like, okay, it's probably not that great. And then another thing that you can look at is you just come over here to the overview, and you can see a snapshot of the competitor search volume strength. You can see 100% competition search volume strength. So literally, you're dealing with a lot of competition. And yes, the average reviews and the median price and the sales and the revenue is great, but you're dealing with quite a bit of competition in terms of the keywords, and you going in and trying to rank for these keywords is going to be an uphill battle. So that is where this particular product, I'm going to basically take a pass, and I'm going to be like, you know what? This is not going to be the best option for me. Now, there are other cool data points that you can look at. So you can see the seller countries. So you can see that there's 10 from China, 2 US, 1 Canada. You can see the number of variations. So this one has 2, 4, 4, 8, 1, 2, so it has a good balance of variations. You can see the listing age, which is another very important metric that I like to look at. So the average listing age is 1 year, 6 months. If this showed that it was like 4 months or 6 months or less than a year, that's when I'm like, okay, this is going to get super saturated very quickly, and I'm not going to be able to succeed in the long term. But this is a little bit more established niche, and people have the average listing age is 1.5 years. As you can see, some 6 months, 3 years, 2 years, 4 months, 7 years. So you kind of have a little variety. You can see the average price. And so that's something that you can look at in terms of your profit margins. And so I'm not even diving into that because I just looked at the competition in terms of search volume strength. And it's like, okay, I don't even want to look at the other things, but I did want to show you that. So that is the first product, is that fire hydrant. I'm just going to take a hard pass, and we'll come to the next product, which we'll look at this nursery bookshelves. So we'll come over here, pull up the extension. And again, you want to toggle these on of the products that are most similar to yours. And so, for example, I'm looking for wall shelves for books for a nursery. This one right here, this is not a wall shelf. This is more of an organizer like bookshelf, not necessarily a wall shelf. And so I'm not going to check these particular products. But this one, yes. This one, yes. This one, this one, this one, I selected 12. Again, what you're going to want to do is find the top 10 to 15. And then from there, you're going to hit dive, and then it's going to pull all of that data in a matter of 10, 15 seconds, and it's going to analyze it for you and tell you, okay, does this product actually have potential or not? And if it doesn't, then don't get married to it and don't move forward. Because again, trying to force the issue or just trying to look at a few data points. And again, if we come back, while this is analyzing, I'm going to come back to the dive box. This nursery bookshelves, if we look at the average reviews and look at the total revenue, you're going to see that the average reviews is 247, so it's a little bit higher, but the total revenue is 3 million, so it's a lot more, and the search volume is significantly higher. So it's like, okay, well, does this actually have potential? I don't know. Well, we're going to find out right here in a second. So we come over here and we can see the search terms. There's quite a few. You can see the search volume, 1,200, 1,000, 8,000, 4,000. And then we come over here and we're starting to see a little bit better than just straight red. We obviously see 3 very strong, but then we see a yellow, which is weak. Then we see a green, which is very weak. And then we see another weak, a very weak, very strong, very weak, very weak, very weak, very weak. So this is looking a lot better than the last one. It's not just straight red. And again, just to kind of show you how we can look at this chart, like you actually see some green. You don't just see just straight red. And that is a good sign. Now, does that just instantly mean, oh, this is a home run product, I'm going to go launch it? No, obviously there's a lot more to the verification process. But at first glance, it's like, okay, this actually has a little bit more potential than the last product that we looked at. And if we come over here to the overview, we come right here to the competitor search volume strength. Well, you can see 6 are very weak, 2 are weak, and then 4 very strong. So the 33% competition on search volume strength is way better than the 100%. So this one is going to be significantly better of a product than the last one just by looking at that search volume competition strength. So we'll now come back to the master keyword list and just analyze a few more things to decide, okay, does this product have potential or not? So far it's looking good, but there are other things that we want to look at. So if we look at the seller country, we can see that all 12 are from China. Now, this is not a deal breaker, but understand it's going to be hard to compete them in terms of price point. They're always going to have a better margin than you. So what is your strategy on being different and standing out from these sellers, which we'll get into here in a second. So I just want that to be in the back of your mind. Variations, the average is 4, and you're going to see that some have 9, 10, 4, 3, 1, 13. It's kind of across the board, which is a good sign, because if all of them had 10 variations and that was the only way to succeed, well, that's going to be very expensive for you to get yourself into the door. But the fact that this one only has 1 variation and they're a strong seller and they're doing $42,000 a month, well, that's a good sign where you could start out with just 1 variation. Now, obviously, as time goes on, you might want to launch additional variations so you can potentially work your way up to be an even very stronger competitor at 9, 10 variations. So that's something to look at and again to have in the back of your mind. The next thing is the rating. So we got 4.5 stars. What is the average rating of these sellers? And you're going to see that some have a 4.3, a 4.4. That's not very good in the Amazon game, 4.3. So it's like, okay, there is some room for us to be able to improve. If these were all 5-star ratings, well, then it's going to be hard for us to come into that market and improve and differentiate our products. So that's another thing to look at. The next is listing age. This is very important. And this is going to basically be an indicator on whether or not this market's going to just be super saturated and flooded with new sellers over the next couple months. And the bigger this number, the better. Because if all of them were 11 months and less, then it's like, okay, well, I don't want to deal with this competition. But the fact that we have some 1 year, 5 months, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, like we have some mature sellers in here, that's a good sign where it's an established niche. It's not just going to, again, get flooded with a bunch of new sellers overnight. So I like looking at that listing age. The price point, $29.97. Again, since all of them are Chinese sellers, you want to make sure that that's not the main differentiator is the price point, but obviously understanding that that's the average price, you need to make sure that your margins make sense. And if they don't, well, then the product doesn't work. The next is looking at the revenue. I mean, these sellers are all crushing it. 20,000, 36,000, even the very weak, and even the weakest one, 37,000. Here's another one, 32,000. And then obviously the top sellers, I mean, are doing 115, 72, $63,000. So that shows that there is a lot of potential for all of these sellers. And for me to come in, it would be realistic for me to potentially take over some of these sales. And for me, I mean, even if I could establish a 20K per month product, like I would consider that a win. Obviously, I would be shooting for a lot more, but that's just kind of another thing to kind of look at. Is there actually room for you to enter into the market? And clearly, the sellers are crushing it. The next thing that I like to look at is the keywords on page 1 and what's the percentage. And you're going to see that these very strong competitors, I mean, 89% of their keywords are on page 1, 277, so 92%, 91%. But if we come over here, this is where there's holes. Like these sellers, only 55% of their keywords are on page 1. This one, 56%. This one, 42%. This one, 38%. This one, 18%. And the fact that only 18% of their keywords are on page 1 and they're still doing $20,000 per month, that gets me excited. That makes me know that, okay, there is more potential for me to come into this market, because if I can be 1% better than them, well, again, that's a 20K per month product. And then as we optimize and use these strategies that we're showing you, that's how you're going to beat out the competition. So that is something really kind of interesting to look at. And so overall, I'm looking at this market and I'm like, okay, this has legit opportunity. This has legit potential. And so the next part is going to improve and differentiate, which we're going to get to here in a second. But now that we've found it, we've verified the data, the search volume, the competition, looking at the price, the variations, all of that stuff. Again, that last part is going to be improving and differentiating and then making sure that the profit margins actually make sense. Now, before we dive into that part, let's come to another example of this stuffed animal storage organizer. And so we'll come right here and pull up the extension and we're going to select our competitors. We've got 13 and then we're going to click dive and then it's going to show us this chart that we've been looking at. So this one again is a lot of very red. We can come over here to the overview and you can see that 9 is very strong. We've got 8% is strong. We've got 3 that are very weak. And so for me, if I'm looking at the 3 of these, the nursery bookshelves gets me the most excited. Now, obviously, there still could be potential for this product. And we can come back to the master keyword list. But right here, the biggest kind of red flag is this listing age is 6 months. So the average seller has only been selling for 6 months. And so that is a sign to me that this is kind of a trending product. And I guarantee there are going to be 10, 20, 30, 50 more new sellers coming into this market over the next couple months. And for me, I just don't really want to deal with it. And so for that reason, I'm going to take a pass and I'm going to be like, you know what? The listing age, I don't like. And then also there is quite a bit of competition, even with that listing age being really low. I'm just not that interested. So again, this might come across of like, okay, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and I feel like everyone's just telling me to look at the average reviews and the search volume or the revenue. But Trevin is like looking at this with low average reviews and high revenue and he's telling me that he wouldn't launch this product. Yes, that's exactly what I'm telling you. And it's because of Data Dive. It makes it so much easier. And imagine if you don't have this. Again, it's like you're going to the casino and putting all your chips on red or black or whatever you're doing. So that's why I like to look at this. So again, if you guys don't have Data Dive, I'll put that link in the description. It's an absolute game changer. So now that we kind of have 3 products that we looked at, the stuffed animal storage organizer, it's just too new. It's just something that I'm not that interested in. The competition is still pretty high. The fire hydrant for dogs, there's just not enough demand and the competition is also super strong. And then these nursery bookshelves, this is where it has a little bit more potential and it gets me a little bit more excited. So we're going to take it a step further. And the next part is we need to verify that we can improve it. So we verified the data, but now we need to verify that we can actually improve the product. And that is where I'm going to come over here to what's called an AI product brief. And this is where Data Dive is going to pull all of the reviews of all of the competitors and analyze them and find what's good about the product, what's bad about the product, and what you can improve on that product. And you literally just click these buttons and you run this product brief and it's going to give you a complete breakdown of how to improve it. Now, I'm not going to dive into the entire step-by-step strategy because I just posted a video that's 12 minutes long that goes through this entire process on how you use AI to improve your product, again, using Data Dive. And that is that last part of the verification process. So what you're going to do is take what you just learned in terms of doing the deep dive of your master keyword list, understanding the competition. And once you have that checked, you're then going to figure out how you can improve the product using AI. You pull the reviews, you figure out what's good and what's bad. And then from there, that's where you're going to go to your supplier and ask them if they can make these improvements. And if they can, well, then get a quote and then price check and make sure that this price of $29.97, this average price, you can sell it for maybe $22, $29, maybe $40, depending on the product. If the profit margins make sense, that's kind of that last part. So if you can do that, that is where you're going to set yourself up for success and you're going to crush it with FBA. And again, it's all through Data Dive. It's an absolute game changer. If you're not using it, you might as well just go put all of your chips on black. So if you guys want the discount code, I'll put it in the description. Take advantage of it. Go verify your products. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, like the video, subscribe, drop a comment, and we'll see you in the next one.